welcome back to another episode of Ask the Techies. I'm D. Lee Beard.
And I'm Brendan Jackson. Hello.
And today we got a great episode for you. As promised, going to have a review of where you can find free audiobooks online, as well as got a review of this Slingbox AV. If you haven't heard about those, you might be pretty interested in that. And hopefully we'll have enough time to answer some more of your viewer questions. First off, I think we need to dive into the Slingbox.
Yeah.
We're going to cover this thing right here. The Slingbox is a little device you can hook up to your TV that allows you to watch your TV remotely. Let me give you a situation. All right, there's a big meeting this Saturday. I have to go. My boss says there's a big group committee meeting. We have to all meet on Saturday afternoon. That's when the ball game is. I don't want to miss the ball game. Well, I pull open my laptop, and I'm looking like I'm taking notes. I'm putting in data, but I can switch over to my little Slingbox viewer, and I can actually watch the ball game going on while I'm in the meeting. What a way to goof off!
Either that or you can call in sick or quit your job. I mean, it seems like a little bit better of an option here.
Yeah. Basically, the hookups that you get for this thing are basically, RCA plugs. You have the video and audio, those types of things. But they do give you an S-video port as well on here that you can also hook up. And that's for your Ethernet connection. And that's how you hook it up to the Internet. So you can access it via the Internet on your laptop or computer elsewhere, even in your office if you wanted to catch the latest news coverage of the election results or something.
Keep in mind that this is the AV version that we're talking about. There are, I think, 3 different versions. There might be others out there floating around, but they each have different settings. This one's AV. It's the lower grade model, so it only has these AV connections. There are some that have, we'll explain later.
Yeah, for connections for HD and stuff, we'll talk to you about that. But it's pretty simple, straightforward. I like that they have an S-video thing. There's also a place for the infrared connection for you to be able to control your other devices that you hook up to it, such as your what other things? Your DVD player, your cable set TV box. Cable TV set box.
Lee's having a little bit of trouble.
Little bit of English. It's a wonderful language. One of the things I loved about the Slingbox is that I didn't have to go out and buy an Ethernet cable. I didn't have to go out and buy the standard connections. These are even look like gold-plated connections for hooking up.
Which gold-plated is the nicer connection.
For you to be able to hook up your VCR, DVD player, whatever. Oh, and in case you wanted even better quality video, they also gave me the S-video cable, which is kind of nice to get with the little packet as well.
You always get S-video, but so few things ever use S-video, I find. I mean, they're nice when you do have them, but...
Yeah, it gives you a better, crisper image than you can get otherwise. They gave you the cables. I get so irritated. You buy a brand new printer, they don't even give you a little USB cable, and that's just ridiculous. Looking a little bit like an alien there.
They also double as Halloween costumes, evidently.
Ah, yeah. So anyway, those are the devices you hook up for infrared connections. And a little CD for installing the software, although if you use a Mac, the CD is useless to you.
It's on the website, though.
It's on the website. You can download it. And quite frankly, you have internet connection, or you wouldn't want the Slingbox anyway. And I'm not a big believer in these CDs anyway, because the CDs are usually out-of-date versions. So the version of the Sling
player...
player...
They're good to get you going.
Yeah. But I find usually it's better to go ahead and download the latest Sling player from their website or whatever program it is that you're trying to deal with. There's a Sling player that you get. Basically what it is, I downloaded the software of the Mac, put it on, hooked it up, and started trying to walk me through a nice little tutorial about how to hook it up with my router. Well, my router's a little bit different in that I have an Apple airport base station. And I have one of the older ones that's like saucer-shaped, flying saucer-shaped. And I had trouble trying to get it, and I recently upgraded my laptop to Leopard. And Leopard wasn't even noticing that the airport base station was there in the airport control utility for whatever reason. But I got on my wife's older computer and was able to then connect to the airport base station and be able to change the settings as they indicated. You have to do some port forwarding, and basically they give you nice clear instructions about going port 5001 is what they want to do. And that's how you set up your connections on your router. That's what it wants to do. And so Brandon connected to see what I was watching on my VCR remotely. I had to basically send him the address.
Teletubbies, huh?
You can tell I have children. No, we don't watch Teletubbies.
They were asleep at the time, he said.
Actually, it was a sporting game.
Yeah, well, I'll give you credit. It was a bad game, but it was a game.
But anyway, what I wanted to point out was that What was I trying to point out there? Teletubbies, they're eating away at my brain.
I think you were trying to point out the connection and the way it looked and how easily it was for me. I just had to get a password from Dealey after I set it up.
When I set it up, it actually gave me the information that I would need to send him, and then I had to set up a password, and then you also set up an admin password that allows me to change the settings on the Slingbox. But I had to basically give him the address, and I sent that to him in a message, and then I sent him the password in another message, and then he was able to connect to it, and he was watching the game with me. On his laptop.
The thing is, you couldn't watch it on your computer, though, because you can only do one connection at a time, we've noticed.
That's right. I was able to watch it in my living room, but not on my laptop. You can connect to only one device can connect to this at a time. And you kind of probably expected that anyway. Video through the network, it's going to bog your system down. And if you're trying to send it out and broadcast it to 5 computers, it's not going to work anyway.
Although
so you've got to limit it to just one
We're not
connection.
exactly sure if that's true with the Pro and the other versions.
Right.
But as far as
Just
the
the
AV version, though,
exactly,
that's
just
the case.
AV one. And the quality of the video, what did you think of that?
It was okay. It was like a lot of videos that you would expect to see streaming, live through the web. If you've ever watched a live video streaming through the internet before, it's about what you expect. You'd see the little square block pixelation and whatnot. But then again, that was based on the fact that I was on a wireless connection at the time, and Dealey here in Ohio, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. The connection speeds are fast, but they're not exactly blazing fast.
I have Time Warner Roadrunner at my house.
Which I had the same, so.
Yeah. And the farther you go from your Slingbox, you might get a poor quality image because it's more routers you have to pop through to get from point A to point B. The more likelihood you're going to have things slow down. So that may create a problem for you. But
the 2 connections that would matter the most are, the one that's uploading, which that's also a big deal, is you have to have a high upload speed, which Time Warner doesn't like to give.
No, it doesn't.
Unless you pay for it.
Yeah.
But, then you also have to have fast download speed,
If you set this up
too.
in your office, if you have a TV connection, you might actually get a better connection to be able to download from
T1 or T3 connection.
We haven't tried that. We tried that. We don't have TV down here. But one thing you could do with this as well, beyond, catching the game, making sure you don't miss the game during that all waste of a meeting time, is that you could actually set up a security camera to the Slingbox.
Don't have to have great quality for that.
A nanny cam, something like that. Because you can hook up other types of video, because these ports on the back of this thing are still, get that back on the camera, these ports on the back here are still standard RCA plugs. That you could output your video from your camcorder directly to this. You don't have to record to tape, just have the camera on, and that would run the video to the network, and that you have the address and the password. You can connect to it and make sure the babysitter is behaving the way she's supposed to, or you're going away on vacation. You just want to know that everything's okay, or you want to know if your dog's okay, or, what does your dog do once you leave the house? Does he bark incessantly? Is she the one chewing up the things, or is it another culprit? The Sling Player software does not give you a way to record what you get, and that is a little bit of a minus. I wish there was. Now, there's ways around that. There's software you can download where you can record anything that plays on your computer.